As great as Episode 7 was, it left us with a cliffhanger no less. Of course, we've been accustomed to now by Dave Filoni. He is the master of the cliffhangers, and the finale of Episode 8 is about to come, my friends. Today, I'm going to reveal something of a teaser, something that is coming in Episode 8, and everything that's surrounding this finale. What the future of Star Wars will be after the Ahsoka series, because by golly, it is already changed. Everything has been prepped for Thrawn's return. Will he return? Will they still remain in Peridia? We're going to talk about it in this teaser Episode 8 video. So, first of all, let's talk about what Dave Filoni is prepping to do in Episode 8, and it's going to be very similar to what happened in The Mandalorian Season 2, also headed by Dave Filoni. You see, Hayden Christensen's return as Anakin Skywalker was the first major step that we are getting the Skywalkers back together. We started with that. It took a brief Skywalker mention even from the beginning, and now the time period and the inclusion of the New Republic also, as we saw in Episode 7, that was not a coincidence. Dave Filoni is trying to gather all the Skywalkers back again in one place. The thing is, we have already seen Luke in this new timeline. We saw him in Mandalorian Season 2 finale. We even saw him in the Book of Boba Fett with Ahsoka, no less, building his new Jedi temple. Episode 7 makes it abundantly clear that Luke will return in the finale. First of all, let's start with the beginning of Episode 7, where 3PO makes it clear Leia Organa is now involved in this story, thanks to her new role in the New Republic. Leia is first mentioned in Ahsoka Episode 5 by Carson Teva, who reminds Hera that she can't cover for their unauthorized mission any longer. And fast forward now to Episode 7, Leia has sent 3PO in her place to insist that she had in fact authorized Hera's mission to Cetus. Leia now is fully integrated into this storyline, with her position as the leader of the Defense Council of the New Republic. So why is this important? Well, Leia's involvement in this new event surrounding Cetus, with Ahsoka, with Dark Jedi, with everything that Hera will report to her, this should now be a concern for Luke too. If Hera has shared her full findings with Leia, then there's no doubt that she will pass them on to her brother Luke Skywalker, seeing that he would deserve to know more about these fallen Jedi such as Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. Luke, of course, was once a huge part of what happened with the rebellion, and with the knowledge that these fallen Jedi are now aiding Grand Admiral Thrawn's return, should immediately get him interested in these troubled times, joining his sister as well. Also, what you have to understand is that Dave Filoni is trying to revive a whole lot from the Heir to the Empire trilogy. Those are legends, but Dave has been trying so much with the Ahsoka series that a lot of things have been canonized. First of all, what we see from Thrawn's return is a direct reflection from the original story in Legends, something that Luke was a massive and key part of in the Heir to the Empire trilogy. That trilogy introduced Thrawn to the galaxy, has already been a major source of inspiration for this New Republic era of Star Wars, where Jacen Syndulla, taking the name of Jacen Solo, and Captain Gilead making a brief appearance in Mandalorian Season 3. So it stands to reason that Dave Filoni would not recreate the story without Luke Skywalker in it, especially now that Thrawn's return to the Star Wars galaxy is kind of inevitable, and it's drawing closer and closer. As we saw, Thrawn has already been biding his time before his cargo loads and he can leave this forsaken place. As I said, Luke was a huge part of the Heir to the Empire trilogy, and it seems really plausible that we will see him in the finale, same as we saw him in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. Not saying that everything should be created exactly as it did in Legends and the Heir to the Empire trilogy, but most of it has already been so, because even now in canon we have more evidence that Luke is joining the fray very shortly. If Luke is not concerned about Thrawn, then he very well should be about Baylan Skoll, because we have kind of already figured figured out that Balin was already targeting the Skywalker family, which he carries with him on his wrist. The Arabic letters there describe it as target data, and it goes by the list names of Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, Ben, and even R2-D2 and C-3PO. This is why Balin supposedly has come to this planet to achieve a power greater than anything and perhaps start killing those names off of his list. This makes, of course, perfect sense because Balin is then drawing a straight line right towards Luke in this Ahsoka story. You see, Balin is already familiar with Luke's father, and somehow he even knows that Anakin became Darth Vader, which certainly isn't common knowledge in the galaxy. So if Balin intends on going off and killing Luke Skywalker at some point in this story, then it is inevitable that viewers will see the return of this beloved Jedi, perhaps even in Episode 8. Some are speculating that Season 2 might be the season that we see Luke, because even in The Mandalorian, we didn't see Luke until the ending of Season 2 also. So things might get shuffled around, but it would be beautiful. Once Thrawn returns in Episode 8, Luke is right there to meet him. What's even greater, and this is one of the best things ever, you have to be even more excited because all of these hints and references to Luke in Ahsoka and throughout the New Republic era makes it inevitable that Luke Skywalker will definitely be a part of the Mandalorian movie helmed by Dave Filoni. Because, he's too much of a character and too deeply tied to these events for him not to make an appearance at all, no matter how brief it may be. And if you ask me personally, with the technology that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett, the actor portraying Luke and the deepfaked face, it was so precise and so great that I really think you can make an entire movie of the technology that has already arrived, where older actors can definitely become younger and play them throughout. So as you can see, Ahsoka is taking major steps towards getting Luke involved. I can see that Dave Filoni is eyeing Luke at the end. Though The Mandalorian Season 2 brought him back in the Book of Boba Fett, informed viewers of what he's up to, he is becoming more and more relevant to what's happening around the galaxy in the New Republic era. And as the importance grows, so does the chance of Luke making again his theatrical Star Wars return. I know a lot of fans are clamoring for that, or just begging Lucasfilm to do that again, because not only does it involve Luke in a great and awesome story, but it may redeem him from what the Luke character went through in the sequel trilogy, where a lot of fans were disappointed of how Luke was actually handled. For me, creating a Mandalorian-era movie by Dave Filoni centered on Thrawn as the villain without Luke Skywalker as the hero basically seems impossible at this point. The return of Luke has already happened in other mediums in, as we said, Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, so it's time to bring him into the fold again, into the battle for the galaxy. In my mind, the triangle this time around will be Ahsoka, Luke, and Leia. These three guys will punch Thrawn in the chin at some point in time, and it will be interesting to see how Palpatine will be revived too. That's another speculation that is out there and it's crazy. So we're going to talk about that more, but let me know what do you think about Luke Skywalker's possible return.